Dear Bhagavan, can you say something more about what is happening to the people or the audience during the oneness meditation?
During the oneness meditation, what happens is the Kundalini rises and the chakras get activated. The chakras refer to the ductless glands in the body, which are switches to the brain. So indirectly we are working on the brain, and if the brain gets transformed, you get all the states. Essentially it is brain work.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Bhagavan, what is the difference or differences to have a contact with Antaryaman and to be God realized?
You may have a powerful Antaryaman, that does not mean you are God realized. You might meet the president of a country, that does not mean you know him. You have got to interact with him, you have to become his friend, you have to live with him, only then you would know him. Similarly, seeing God even physically does not mean you are God realized. You have to build up a bond, a relationship, and you must start interacting. It's a long journey. As you go along, you realize more and more about God.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Bhagavan, if I'm meeting a person or if I'm going to see my child or someone, my experience is that the individual means different to me. But how does this fit into there is no person there? What exactly is an individual, Bhagavan? Thank you, Bhagavan.
When you use the word individual, you are referring to personalities. When we use the word individual, we do not refer to the personalities. We only refer to what we call witness consciousness. There is a witness consciousness which is witnessing what is going on all the time. You are that witness consciousness. So when we say you, we are referring to that witness consciousness. We are not referring to the personalities. But when you use the word individual, it refers to personalities. When personalities are gone, what remains there is witness consciousness. There is no person but only witness consciousness. You are that.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Bhagavan, a lot of young people are suffering, they are lonely, have no goals in life, lack motivation to live, low self-confidence, self-destructive behaviors such as hurting themselves. How can we help the youths in Sweden? Thank you, Bhagavan.
This problem could be solved by changing the brain as well as transforming the heart, which is easily done once the divine becomes physical. It takes only a few minutes to achieve this.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Bhagavan, in the Bible it says, man is created in the image of God. As it is today in the world, our lives are not godly. Bhagavan had the school Jivashram, and there was the statement to set man free. Is it really possible for us to become like the image of God, Bhagavan? Thank you, Bhagavan.
It is possible and it is happening.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Bhagavan, can you tell us more about the Srimurti phenomenon? Can the divine manifest to ordinary non-awakened atheist sweets? Thank you, Bhagavan.
In the Srimurti phenomenon, which is begun a few months ago, you would initially see movement in the Srimurti, and what you would see is your divine. Suppose you are a Christian, you would be seeing Christ or Virgin Mary, or if it is the Holy Spirit, you would experience a very deep presence. If you happen to be a Muslim, everything would vanish and you would again experience a deep presence. If you happen to be a Jew, it would become a blazing light. So what you see depends on what faith you follow and what your conditioning is. The next stage, your divine moves out of the Srimurti. It comes out of the Srimurti. Now we call this non-physical, physical phenomenon. Physical because it's very physical, but non-physical because if you put your hands, it would go through your divine. Therefore we call that non-physical, physical. At the next level, it becomes physical, physical. Not only is it physical to look at, but you could physically touch it. It's very solid. If your divine is having a form, you could feel the breath, you could feel the heartbeat, everything you could feel. Suppose Bhagavan were your divine, you could feel these clothes which I am wearing, you could feel the jibba, everything you could touch. That is the next level. But then you cannot take a photograph. At the next level, you could catch the image on your cameras. It's that physical. And at a still more advanced stage, you could walk with your divine within your home or even on your roads. It is so very physical. It is happening right now in India in many, many places. Now what happens is, when you get this physical phenomenon, all that you have to ask is, please awaken me. One diksha from the divine, and on the spot you are awakened. No need for the long process which we are speaking earlier. You want transformation, a change of the physical heart, one diksha, it's over. Similarly, whatever you want, you have a financial problem, one diksha, finished. You have a health problem, it is done. Everything is taken care of by the divine. Now the question is whether atheists, non-believers would get this experience. Everyone get this experience. Whether you are a non-believer or a believer or an atheist or a communist, whatever you are, everyone gets this experience. There is no exception at all. So it's very, very easy and very, very simple. The time has come for this. It's a game changer. It's going to change everything. It has arrived. That's all there is to it.
Thank you, Bhagavan. What is the fast road to enlightenment, Bhagavan?
Well, the fast road now is to get the divine physically in your life and take a diksha or a blessing, and it's all over. No need to stay with the what is without effort for 49 minutes, then the heart flowering, then going along. All that you could do if you want to. But this is the shortcut, the short way. Simple and easy. The brain is instantly transformed because God is doing it. So there is no difficulty at all. It's that fast.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear beloved Sri Bhagavan, we love you more than words can describe. What should oneness trainers' main focus be now? How can the oneness trainers reach out to many people? We send our love, gratitude to Amma and to everyone at the Oneness University in this mission. Thank you, Bhagavan.
Oneness trainers, depending on the resource, should start what we call a two-chamber process or a three-chamber process. In the three-chamber process, what happens is, in the first chamber, the trainer talks. Then in the second chamber, there are the padukas. You have to send them one by one and bolt the room. And the padukas would do a process for them, a complete process, and they generally fall unconscious. At that time, your Antaryaman would tell you, now open the door, and you got to open it. Bring them out and take them into the third chamber. In the third chamber, their divine would physically manifest to them. Then they must have a conversation with their divine, could ask them even spiritual questions. All kinds of questions could be asked, all kinds of blessings could be asked for, and then it's given to you. Most people tend to fall unconscious, they have to be brought out. That is the three-chamber system. The other is the two-chamber process, where in the first chamber you talk, in the second chamber healing happens, only healing. It could be cancer, it could be a kidney problem, whatever it is, only healing is done. That's called the two-chamber process. If you have a three-chamber process, then awakening, transformation, God realization, solving of your problems, all these things happen in the three-chamber process. So the trainer, depending on their resources, should either start a two-chamber process or a three-chamber process.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Bhagwan, what happens after death if you are awakened? For example, if you are a bad person who is still judging yourself and others and you are only awakened at a very low number, what will happen, Bhagwan? Thank you, Bhagwan.
Normally, people on death hang around for 3 days. They would be able to see their relatives, their friends. They could even hear voices. But then they would not be able to touch anything. And then they realize they are dead. At that time, you have to carry out all the ceremonies that keeps reassuring them and prepares them for the onward journey. Then the journey itself is about 10 days by our time. And then they come in front of the light. There, the light does not judge them, but they judge themselves the way they were judging people while on earth. And depending on their judgment, they go to whatever realm that is relevant to them. If you judge yourself very badly, then of course you go to hell and you have the hell experience. You don't stay there forever, you keep moving from there to other realms. But if you are well prepared, then you would judge yourself properly and then you move to the higher realms, which we call heaven.
Thank you, Bhagwan.
But once you get the divine physically, you can have a tour. You can go and visit these places and you can see them for yourself.
Thank you, Bhagwan. Dear Bhagwan, even after awakening, the process continues. So the brain change continues. How much can we affect this process by receiving Diksha, oneness meditations? And can we keep this process going, or can we do anything at all, Bhagwan? Is it all in the hands of the divine? Thank you, Bhagwan.
You could of course meditate. You could go for a oneness meditation. You could do all these things you could do. They would definitely help you. But now the time has come where a very short process is available. We leave it to the hands of the divine, and the divine does everything. So when that is available, why should you go through the long process? It is not required. You can move to any state you want by simply asking the divine. And the divine comes into your life quite easily. It comes even to non-believers. In fact, to anybody and to everybody. So that should not be a problem. So all this while, we were talking about the long process, the long way. We were waiting for the phenomenon to start. The phenomenon began, and ever since we are talking different things now. Preparing people for the new process.
Thank you, Bhagwan. Dear Bhagwan, how can I increase the presence of God in my life?
Now that the divine is becoming physical, just ask for it, it's done. The divine could stay in your home, could watch TV with you, could cook with you, could eat with you. It could be that physical. It all depends on you. If you think the divine would not do these things, then nothing would happen. If you think it's possible, it's okay, then all these things happen. It's all in your hands.
Thank you, Bhagwan. What is the best state to be in when getting a Diksha or doing a oneness meditation? Should we calm down or just be staying in the waters?
The best thing to do would be to stay in the waters without effort.
Thank you, Bhagwan. Dear Bhagwan, when do you feel, Bhagwan, that all of mankind will be fully awakened, and will there be a transformation where people become enlightened and God realized shortly, or long after this collective awakening? Thank you, Bhagwan.
It's all in the hands of humanity. The phenomenon has now come to a point where within minutes it is manifesting physically and doing all things. So we should not take a long time. All that is required is humanity must be willing, that's all. Then it's all over.
Thank you, Bhagwan. Dear Shri Bhagwan, are you satisfied with the development in Scandinavia? Has the transformation started to happen here yet, Bhagwan? Thank you, Bhagwan.
Looking at you all, I am very, very satisfied, and soon the divine would become physical to you all.
you, Bhagavan. Bhagavan, they're all asking for a blessing that all the oneness trainers will be able to become one with all that is, and they are able to create more oneness events in Scandinavia, Bhagavan. And they also want a blessing for their country, Bhagavan, Scandinavia completely. They're asking this blessing, Bhagavan.
All the blessings. Love you all. Love you.